Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're checking out the Korean group who have stayed with us surprisingly longer than we expected. An interesting one to keep on following, that is, of course, Dreamcatcher. I think in a world where, there are great things from all music scenes, but I think we all know publicly just how cynical the K-pop scene unfortunately can be and has been revealed to be at times of recent. It is nice when you see the good things that come out of it. I think people too often look at an entire scene and say, oh, everything is the same, and they just give a blanket stereotype. But Dreamcatcher, at least from what we can see from the outside, seems to be a group who've allowed their creative career to be steered towards something different, who've embraced it, who've gone for a sound which is not necessarily your number one chart-topping sound, but instead gives them more of an engaging genre to play with. They've mixed rock with the K-pop sound. Really interesting up until now. We've heard some great songs from them, and I'm hoping this will be another one. They also seem to be really all for going into hyperbolic imagery and sort of over-the-top things, over-the-top imagery in their videos. It seems that a lot of it's very metaphorical and meaningful, but I think they also do it with a degree of tongue-in-cheek because, they know their budget limitations. They're just one of those bands who seem to encourage a lot more of a charming respect, sort of group who you can just look at them and go, yeah, these guys actually want to do something fun and artistic and creative and interesting and with a little bit of depth and, without taking themselves too seriously. So I'm looking forward to hearing this. This is a song called What, which is one of those names that is infuriatingly short. I don't think calling a song that is going to make me so much like the name as just from the get-go. I've got to say this, I really hate songs that have names like that. It's like, what? It's like, no, you should have given it a more interesting name. But anyway, I haven't heard the song yet. I'm sure the song will be much better than the rather infuriating name. So this is What? By Dreamcatcher. Seriously, this is What? The video looks a bit more K-pop than normal, but the song definitely is going in a rock direction again. Nice melody, somewhere between rock and pop. As usual, the backing sort of building up slowly to see if the chorus pays off. Oh. It's a nice switch of rhythm there. Okay, that's simple but effective chorus. The what bit's a little bit strange, but it works, it works. I think it's just because it's weird hearing the word what used like that. Like, what? I like this bit, it's very simple, but it really works. Well, she's got an interesting rhythm to work with here. Yeah, not bad actually, it's pretty good rap, Rhythmically, I don't know the words. I've got to admit, I kind of like the colourful video. I mean, in a way, it's nice that they don't always do those sort of stereotypical colourful videos, like most K-pop bands do. But in a way, it's nice occasionally to see that, you know. So yes, this is a fun-looking video to go well with it. Oh, it's from third mini album, DREAMCATCHER Alone in the City. So this is 3 mini albums into their career. Of course, a mini album is, you know, what the Korean music industry calls a mini album, I guess, is what most of the rest of the world would call an EP, or maybe even a single at sometimes. They're so short. You know, it's a mini album in Korea is akin to a deluxe single in Japan a lot of the time. But anyway, still, you know, this is not obviously their first thing. And they had Minx before Dreamcatcher as well, which was their previous iteration before they, you know, were able to take a more creative control approach. So let's have a little look at that one. I mean, that one was really catchy, really enjoyable. That's definitely one that warrants re-listens on a fun value. But I have to obviously be fair and break that down, because this is a group now we've listened to enough times that it would be wrong for me not to be critical as always and try and point out the things that I think could have been different. So on this one, I really like the chorus. Like I say, it was very, very simple, but in a way that was nice because it contrasted against the slightly more complex bits, like the way that the verse built up, and it had that really cool little pre-chorus bit where the rhythm was kind of nice and fun and playful. It was nicely managed, basically. The song had a nice management of which bits were complicated and which bits were simple, and that meant that they could get away with leaning into a very simple chorus. I mean, in a similar way to can't remember the name. I'm really bad at remembering the names of songs. You and I think it was You and I. It wasn't Chase Me. No, it was You and I. That had a similar thing where the chorus was really simple. I mean, just the guitar in the background was just going nothing wrong with that at all. You know, hard rock does that plenty. I mean, you don't have to all be like metal and doing riffs all the time, but it was a very simple approach, especially considering pop music usually goes for sort of intricacies with like lots of production sounds bouncing around. Very simple sort of hard rock style chorus, but played off with a slightly more pop melody, and then of course that what bit at the end added to that, the post-chorus as I'd call it, added to that slightly more poppy inflection. Like I say, I mean, the name's a bit weird, and the way they use what was a bit strange. I mean, what is one of those sounds there very much, you don't get this so much in Japanese, but it's one of those, because of the way the language works, and I was trying to think I don't think you get this so much in Korean either. But it's one of those words that finishes on a dead sound, on a T, but a T that often people don't pronounce. So you kind of get this it's a bit of a strange sound, which is why words like why tend to sound a little bit better, because they end with more of an open mouth sound, why, rather than what. So to repeat a word like that, it loses a bit of impact. So the what bit probably didn't have as much projection and impact, because it's kind of a hard word to project, to be honest. So that was one of the strange writing choices. But yeah, I know it's part of the song title, but I'm sure they could have found a more suitable word, and it's not like exactly they were hanging a priceless song title off of that word either. I think what as a word is probably one of the downfalls of this song. I think it could have been replaced with a more interesting word. But anyway, you know, look, like I say, I don't know exactly what the song's about, but I'm sure a little bit of a rewrite could have maybe fixed that. I also thought that the bridge was really great. I loved the way the bridge worked, and when it cut down to that rhythm, it was fantastic. The rap bit was brilliant. I always say, I'm a big hip-hop fan. I do enjoy hip-hop amongst all the other genres that we listen to. We don't get much hip-hop on this channel for obvious reasons. It's not such a big genre in Japan, where we usually cover, or Asia, where we cover on the World Tour Wednesdays, at least so far. But, you know, I'm a big fan of hip-hop, and I don't expect the rap member that usually exists in most of these types of bands to be sort of classic top-level rappers, because it's not like they're constantly releasing tracks of free verse rap songs. They're basically putting the occasional few bars into a pre-existing pop song, and they have to be singers as well. So, you know, obviously I'm not going to hold her up to an unrealistic standard, but on the standard that you'd expect from like this kind of music, she did a really good job of managing that beat, riding between all the various syllables, and, you know, basically managing it to make something interesting come out of that. And she did a really good job with that. She tends to be, I think sometimes with some of her newer stuff, she sometimes sounds like she's going for that slightly lazy style of modern rap, but I don't think that's because she lacks talent. I think that's because she's trying to follow the current trend in the way that she delivers the rap. But this one to me was more of a nice example of using her actual skills, her actual ability to, like I say, ride the beat, you know, go with what is actually happening around her and make something interesting. So yeah, in a way that really worked. But what the problem with the bridge was is that it went into that sung bit, and then it, you know, this is one of those ones where, like I say, the chorus is kind of a simple blast of energy. And I felt that they needed to ramp up to that, but it kind of didn't. The last chorus didn't get the sort of blasting intro that a crescendo like this would need. It kind of like the bridge tapered off, went quiet, and then the chorus came in. So that was one thing that I was a little bit, I wish that had been done a bit better, managed a little bit better. So overall, a few tiny little qualms with that, but I still maintain this is a song that I'm looking forward to listening to again. It's just kind of got that mixture of pop with a rock sound. It works well. It's got a little bit of attitude. It's fun. It's like it takes the qualities of K-pop and makes them listenable to someone who's more into, you know, shall we say, more rocky sounds or less sparkly sounds, as I'm sure some people on this channel would probably feel. You know, it's depending on how you approach it. I mean, I really like pop, but yeah, I gotta admit the K-pop sound has become a little bit uniform, as has a lot of Western pop music. So it's nice to hear things like this that, you know, play around with that, but not at the expense of still being pop. You know, this is still something you can listen to and you can enjoy in the same way that you would enjoy other pop or K-pop or anything like that. But it does it with a slightly different taste. So I like this. It keeps its integrity and it delivers on being a pop song as well. So enjoyable one. I definitely, like I said, I definitely would put this as one of my favourite songs by them thus far, actually, and definitely one that I'll be re-listening to for my own personal pleasure. But maybe a few things could have done to get the best out of it. But overall, a solid entry. So, thank you so much for tuning in as always. Looking forward to doing more from Dreamcatcher. I know we primarily do Japanese music here, but we always sort of hold on to any artists who've got a particular interest after the World Tour Wednesdays. And this is one that I've been getting quite a lot of fun listen throughs with. So guys, there will be more Dreamcatcher coming to the channel soon. But until then, for now from Japan, thank you so much for tuning in and ciao ciao.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out more of our hundreds of videos we got online on this channel right now, or get involved in the discussion with us at the many social media links we've got in the description below, where you can suggest new videos and artists for us to check out on the channel. Or you can just do the usual YouTube stuff and, you know, comment, like, subscribe. You know how this works by now.